Good morning, everyone. Day 8 of my Advent journal, art journal Advent. I'm not actually sure what to call it, even though we're almost halfway through. Today we've got mermaid, and I don't have a plan, so let's see. I do have this little offcut piece of paper from Marlene's paper pad. It's from I think it's from the Sea Scenes paper pad. I used the other part for something else, so I thought while I have this floating about, I'm going to try and use that. And then I also have these little paper elements, and it's got a really cute little mermaids in there somewhere. Oh gosh, now of course I can't find the mermaids. There they are. So it's got a couple of mermaids, but it also has these mermaid tails, which I really like. But I suspect my page is not going to be big enough. So let's stick with a mermaid. Let's grab a page. It's the center page, so we have to have a double page, which is fine, just fine. And then, see, now that's too short. Okay. Don't really want to take too much time, because otherwise I could have just painted that in. Maybe I should just paint it in. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to tear it up and glue it down with some matte medium. Let's get a paintbrush. I hope you guys all had a nice weekend. Ours was okay. My husband and daughter were out for most of the weekend. I taught an art class, which is always nice. Okay, there we go. Some of you were struggling to find the community section on YouTube. So all you have to do is click on my name on YouTube. So you just click on Lady Michelle Journals, and that will take you to my channel. And right at the top there will be, I'm showing you, there should be, you should see the community tab on there. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just going to tear this piece up and at least get some of the ocean colors on my page. So I'm not trying to create a sea scene with the little offcut that I have, because obviously that's not going to work. But we can Frankenstein something and make something that works. Well, that will hopefully work. We'll see. Only time will tell. I'm trying not to cover the little corals that's there. I do want to keep those. This one, I think, is just going to go. I'm just going to put the whole thing down. I really love the colors in this. I think Marlene is so clever to create all these extra colors. I suspect she uses only her paints, but she uses them in such a way that it makes more colors. And let's tear this little strippy off as well. Let's not waste it, and put it there. Just because we can. Okay. Oh, I don't have my heat tools here because I obviously used it on Saturday when I taught my class. Give me a second and then I'll go fetch them. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I found it and I quickly dried it off screen. I don't think you guys really want to watch paint dry. Now to pull things together here, I think that one, that's perfect actually. That one looks, to me, you know, it could be watery. Of course, if you have one of Marlene's scallopy, wavy stencils, you could use that. I do have that, but I did say that we'll try and stick to using these, so that's what we'll do. This is hard because I didn't wash my brush, my sponge, so I'm just gonna snip off the edge there instead of throwing the whole thing away. There's still lots of sponge left to use, and then I'm going to wet it in my little water bowl. And you can see just how big and soft it's gone. Did you see that? There we go. Nice and big and soft, squishy. And I'm going to use some of the colors that I suspect Marlene has used on there. That is Breeze. And then we're just going to try and tie this page together. I'm just going to add a little bit of stenciling here and there. Clearly my sponge is way too wet for this. I do not like that at all. Let's wipe it off. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, let's try again. I think that feels better. Okay, much better. Go. Sorry if my desk is shaking. Unfortunately, as much as I'd love to control all of the different variables of making a video, there's just some things you can't control, like a shaky desk or the neighbors cutting down a tree. Currently my daughter is busy practicing her cello. I don't think you can hear it because I did close the door and her door is closed as well, so if you can hear it, well then enjoy the background music. I also closed my window today, even though it is so hot, but I figured let's not have the cello and the trees being trimmed. Okay, and that feels a little bit more uniform to me. We've covered up all the areas where the paper overlap and they don't completely match up. So I feel like we are getting somewhere, but I'm certainly not happy with it yet. I feel like this is going to need a little bit more work to pull together. So what I'll do now is let me use my paintbrush and just do some mark making. This one here. Oh, this is my absolute favorite one, but it's not doing so well anymore. It's on its last little legs. Well, leg, because it's just one thing. Okay, I'm going to just do a little bit more mark making, just especially focusing on the areas where those collage papers are overlapping. Just want to try and blend them away a little bit so that they're not so very obvious. So I've used, the colors that I used were Breeze, Mermaid, and this darker one is Azure. So this is Mermaid. Let's just go in with some mermaid mark making as well. And again, just overlapping where I've already done my marks. and focusing on those bits in the background that I can see. I don't know if you can see them on screen, like the overlapping bits of collage paper, but I can see them. There we go. And since we have some paint left, let's water it down. We're just going to try and achieve some splatters. That's a very messy splat. It's all right. It's okay. There we go. And a quick dry while we figure out the next step. I feel like this area is a little bit purpley and I really like that, so I think what I'll do is maybe add some purple bubbles here and there. I don't know if the bubbles are going to make sense. I guess we'll find out when we've done it. Okay, these splatters are going to take a little while to dry, but we are getting there. And if you're really impatient like me, you can just dab it dry. There'll still be like a little smidge of splatter left over and creates a little fun texture. Just want to fold my page over again to make sure I know where that line is. So when I put my mermaid down, so we don't have any drama and issues there. Okay, now I've got kind of an idea. And I'm going to go in with a little bit of royal. I'm not cleaning my sponge or using a new sponge. I'm just going to use this one as is. And we're just going to add a couple of bubbles here and there. Oh, that works. Okay. And now I'm feeling like it's quite dark, and I wonder, so I can see like a limey green in there, but Marlene doesn't have lime green, so she's obviously mixed maybe like Kermit and Glow. I wonder if we should add a little bit of brightness using, don't know why, but I'm feeling like yellow. It might be a disaster. We've got happy, we've got cheesy, we've got wow. You know what? Let's brighten up some of the areas with wow. I know you're supposed to store your paints this way, but my wow seems to be very runny. So I actually don't store it with the tip down. I store it with the tip up. Just because I've got so much leakage, you can see in that. Look at all that wasted paint. What a pity. I suspect it's also because it's so hot here and the humidity and the like air pressure, and that gets pretty intense. You can see it's even leaking still. Quite frustrating to be wasting all that paint, but anyway, I like that. Okay, what is next? I feel like we can add some corally bits here, so I'm going to use the coral stamp set that Marlene has just released. I think it's called Lots of Coral. Let's find a lot of corals. That's what it's called. A lot of corals. And I wonder, I actually might have some already done. Yeah, I do actually. Here we go. The black one. See, they are not well trimmed out. This one, I feel like it's going to cover up too much. What have we got here? Another black one. I feel like it's covering up too much. I might use that one, but for now let's use some colored ink pads. We've got green there. I'm sure we've got a blue and a green, definitely not brown, that would not be fun, and purple. Okay, I'm just going to do some random stamping to get some interest in the background. I'm going to use the more solid ones, so I'm not going to use this one that's got a lot of space to color in. Let's go with green. And one in the corner. Okay. And then let's go with the skinnier one. The one we all want to look like after Christmas. The skinny one. Okay. I'm just building up a little, like a couple of layers, just to create some interest. Okay. I don't think this, see that this is the blue, supposedly. And this is the purple, and they kind of look very similar. But let's give it a bash nonetheless. No harm in trying. Okay. Go there. Yeah, it's very similar. It's covering up quite a bit of that green actually. Let's not do too much. There must surely be another color that I can use. Let's have a look. I don't think I want to use black. Ah, that's blue. Yes. Which one did I use now? I think I used that one. Let me go with this one again. So you can see that all these layers of stamping over the top of each other is just creating a little bit of dimension on that page to make it look, I don't want to go as far as saying realistic, but I guess it just gives it some depth and realistic. Okay, let's call it that. You can tell me what you want to call it in the comments. Okay, I think I'm happy with that, because now we've spent a long time on this background, and I'm getting these little corals right, that we mustn't forget about the actual mermaid that's got to go on there. Okay, I really like that. In fact, the more I look at it, the more I like it. I am wondering though if we need to add some white. So this is an oil-based ink. All of these ink pads are oil-based, and they do take a hot minute to dry. So I do dry them just with a little heat gun. I'm not inclined to use the distress inks because they're water soluble. They always activate with water. So if I knew that this is going to be my absolute last layer, then I would probably go in with that. But I'm never sure if it's going to be my last layer. It really is. Okay. let me just move some things out the way and grab one of these gals. Which one? Have I used all of them? So she's very small, and those are very upright. They're like standing, and I thought something like this would be better. So how about, maybe we should just use one of those tails and see what we can create, because I like the way that they swoop across the page. This one will go across the whole thing. This one I think is going to stand out against that background a bit more. But it's going to be right on that fold. Whatever I put there is going to be right on that fold. Otherwise, let's have just mermaid tails. I feel like that's going to waste them though. Oh me, oh my. What do we do? Let me take this one out and see. I like her colors and I like her hair. You see, it's all going to get chopped off. And she can't go this way. That would look weird. Okay. I'm going to have a little scratch around my stash and see if I can find something else to use. Because I'm not happy with those. I'll be back. That went much quicker than I thought. I literally just opened the book and she was there. So she's the one. We'll just use her. I found her in Marlene's Paper Elements book. This one. It's the Golden Oldies collector book. And I'd obviously popped her out for a different project before and didn't use her. So today is her time to shine. Okay. I'm just trimming off some of these little background bits that the die cutting machine missed when they produced that book. I really don't like having stray bits. Okay. And then she will go there. I am being mindful of this bend, so I am going to put her over the bend. Like I wouldn't want to place her over the bend with her arm, because the arm is much smaller to take all that kind of pressure from the paper that keeps moving. Okay, here we go. I'd love to know in the comments what you did for the weekend. I told you what I did. A little bit of a hectic week ahead, but that's okay. My business is closing next week, Friday. Then things will hopefully calm down a little bit, but for now people are still trying to get their exercise in, which is great. If you don't know, I own a rebounding fitness studio, so exercise daily, which is lots of fun. I get to meet a whole lot of wonderful people too to exercise with. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm just making sure that she's going to bend well with the page, and also when I open the page she's not going to lift. Let's add some brightness to her, and we will do that via coloring in pencils. These dark ones, or these Luma ones, are lovely. Really have been enjoying them. And I'm just going to go into where Marlene already has some pink bits. I'm just going to go over those pink bits, not all of them, but just to brighten things up. And you can see already how much brighter that is. If you don't have neon Pencils, you could use a little bit of neon paint on a very thin brush or some gel pens. So what I would do with a gel pen is just add a touch of it and then just blend it out, and that would also just help to add some brightness. I do love using the neon orange and the neon pink together. I don't know, it just makes me so very happy to do that. I'm going to brighten up some of the greener bits as well. These pencils are great. I don't want to be an enabler, but if you can have these on your Christmas list, they are amazing. You won't regret having them on your Christmas list, I can tell you that much. So maybe you can ask Santa for those. Please don't send your husbands at me because I know I'm not the friend that you come to tell you not to buy something. I'm definitely the friend that's going to tell you to buy all of the things. Okay, I'm just going to go in with a little bit of brown as well. And just add a touch more detail into her hair. Like that. And then I want to go in with a thin Posca paint pen as well. And add the white highlights. By the way, speaking of white, did you guys see that the Pantone color of the year is white? White. Not a nice, bright, lovely color. White. I'm not impressed. I'm sure you can tell. I'm not ultra impressed with that. Let me know what you think of that. I feel like as an artist and as someone who really, really loves color, that the world is kind of trying to push us into whiteness, blandness. I think the world is like trying to push more into, they're trying to push people into using AI more and to kind of lose our creativeness. So that's just, those are my thoughts on the color white for 2026. I can just see people's homes becoming all white and Christmas decorations are going to be white, and I feel like of all the colors of the rainbow and all the colors that Pantone has access to, choosing white was not exciting. Not exciting at all. So I'm just defining some of these lines again. I really like going over lines, especially like hair and faces, when the faces are big enough. It kind of, so obviously I'm doing it to define the lines, but it also kind of trains my hand into that movement of creating hair, if that makes any sense at all. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel. I feel like if I follow that swoop of the hair, my muscle memory in my hand is kind of picking up on that. And maybe one day I'll be able to draw hair. Today is not that day, by the way. I'm terrible with drawing hair. Okay, we want to definitely make her stand out a little bit more. But first, I feel like we need to add just a touch of white mark making in this background. Maybe that will also help to brighten things up a touch. with white, the Pantone color. There is definitely a space for white, of course, but for me, white is a highlight or just something to brighten things up a bit. It's definitely not the color of the year. Oh, goodness. Okay. Let's do a shadow around it because obviously she's deep in the ocean. The light is coming from the top. So she would naturally have a shadow just underneath her. I don't know if the laws of shadows and highlights change underwater. Maybe they do. If you're a diver, you can let me know. Are the shadows still below? I mean, for me it makes sense because the sun is coming from the top. But I'm terrified of the ocean, so I wouldn't know. Just a little bit there. Then we need to find a little quote, hey? Add some over there. There we go. I'm really liking this background. I think that worked out pretty well for someone who didn't have a plan to start off with. Let's go with, I'd like to use a pink quote. Oh, I don't have anything else that's pink on there, so that would be weird. But it would stand out. Color makes life more beautiful. She's quite colorful. She looks like she's having a beautiful time underwater. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to chop all the letters separately. I'm not sticking them down directly onto my page because I definitely need to add some extra glue. It's our insanely hot weather right now. It's not gonna last. I suppose she does have pink in her tail, so we can add a pink quote. And anyway, you don't need permission to add pink anywhere. I love pink, like you have no idea. I really like pink. Oops, I did the wrong one there. Let's put it there and hope it's all gonna fit. I've actually painted some of the walls in the house pink, but it wasn't like the right pink, you know? It was not the pink that they mix and store. It's just not pink enough. So I've actually got some of that paint left, and I'm going to add some stuff to it to make it more pink, and then I'm going to repaint that one wall that I've got. I'm very excited about that. Just need to make the time for it. It's important to me, so I'm not going to say I don't have time for it. I'm going to say I will make time for it because that is what's important to me. Okay, oops. Just gonna hit it with my heat tool there to make sure all the glue is dry. And I think I'll outline with white actually. I feel like this page does need a little bit more brightness. It's definitely not bright enough. And little doodly bits as per usual. That's cute. Yeah, I think we're done for day 8. Thank you so much for watching with me. please keep sharing your work. I do check the community section every now and then, not every day, but I do check them and I do try to answer all of them. I also do try to answer all of your comments, or at least leave like a little heart for you. But obviously, as much as I try to stay on top of it, it's not always possible, but I do try my best. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow.